The moment your eyes open, the world is already moving. The sun rises, the birds chase the wind, and life does not wait for permission. It does not pause to ask if you are ready, if you are prepared, if you are certain. Every second you linger in hesitation, every thought that doubts your own power, every breath you waste in comfort is a second surrendered to someone else's vision. There is no waiting for opportunity. There is only the raw, relentless, uncompromising present, and the choice to seize it before the day even begins. Before breakfast, before the emails, before the obligations, before the noise of the world presses against your mind, you have the sacred chance to claim your destiny. And if you do not, the hours you lose will never return. Think of the men who shaped history, the innovators, the architects of possibility, Thomas Edison, who stared into failure over 1,000 times before light bowed to his insistence. Andrew Carnegie, who rose from rags to riches not because luck favored him, but because he understood the architecture of ambition and began his ascent while others slept. Henry Ford, who revolutionized motion itself, who refused to bow to limitation, who acted when the world told him patience was enough. These were not extraordinary because they waited for life to hand them success. They were extraordinary because they refused to wait. Before the rest of the world stirred, they had already prepared their minds. They had already planned their victories. They had already owned their destinies, and so must you. Owning your destiny is not a promise of ease. It is not an invitation to comfort or to fleeting hope. It is a call to courage, to discipline, to the relentless insistence that your life will not be borrowed from circumstance, but built by your own hand. It begins with a mind fully awake, a mind that refuses the tyranny of distraction, a mind that decides not to let another day slip through its fingers like sand. Before breakfast, you must silence the world's chatter and confront the truth that everything you become begins in these early hours. Your thoughts, your belief, your vision, they are seeds, and the morning is the fertile soil. Tend them carefully, and they will grow into the towering structure of your destiny. Belief is not a casual whisper. It is not a fleeting thought. It is a declaration, a vow, a hammer striking steel. You cannot claim greatness if your belief is small. You cannot achieve mastery if your mind doubts the possibility of your own ascent. Napoleon Hill wrote that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, and he did not write that to comfort the hesitant, the passive, or the lukewarm. He wrote that to ignite the fire of action, to awaken the realization that your mind is the first frontier of conquest. Before breakfast, you must decide who you are, decide what you are capable of. Decide that failure is not a sentence but a teacher, that struggle is not a prison but a forge, and that the life you dream of does not wait for readiness. It waits for courage. Clarity is your weapon, vision is your map. Purpose is the engine. Without them, the day is a tide pulling you aimlessly into mediocrity. Your clarity comes from reflection, from understanding your strengths, your passions, your values. It comes from looking in the mirror and confronting the parts of yourself you have avoided, your fears, your doubts, your excuses, and refusing to let them define your trajectory. Vision is not a vague hope. It is a vivid, unshakable picture of where you are going, a mental sculpture of your potential. Picture your future as clearly as Edison imagined the filament glowing in the dark, as Carnegie pictured the steel empire that would defy geography, as Ford envisioned the machine that would carry millions. Before breakfast, set this vision, make it tangible. Let it dominate your thoughts until hesitation is impossible. Purpose is the relentless engine that transforms intention into action. It is not enough to wake up and think. You must rise with intent, with mission, with a devotion to the work that matters. Purpose is that force that allows you to move while the world sleeps, to act when the masses are distracted, to keep going when comfort beckons like a siren. Discipline is the vehicle of purpose. Without discipline, mornings are wasted. Without discipline, desire dies in the shadows of procrastination. Before breakfast, discipline your body, discipline your mind, discipline your focus. Let the early hours be your sanctuary of excellence, a place where nothing is tolerated but forward momentum. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. Most people wait for the world to hand them signs, signals, confirmations. They wait for motivation to strike, for inspiration to descend like a gift from the heavens. But the truth is, motivation follows action, not the other way around. Edison did not wait for inspiration to illuminate the filament. He acted tirelessly, hour after hour, experimenting in darkness until light bowed to his will. Before breakfast, you must act. Even the smallest step, executed with intention, compounds into unstoppable momentum. Do not wait for the perfect moment. It does not exist. There is only now, this precise second, this heartbeat of opportunity. Step into it, and the universe bends to those who refuse to hesitate. Gratitude is the fuel of perseverance. It is the acknowledgement that your present, no matter how humble, is the foundation of your future. Many chase success while despising the moment they inhabit, blind to the fact that every lesson, every failure, every small triumph is a building block. Lincoln faced division, tragedy, and doubt, yet he found purpose within his circumstances. Disney was rejected countless times, yet he celebrated every spark of progress along the way. Before breakfast, recognize the power of gratitude, not as a fleeting sentiment, but as a conscious strategy. When you honor what you have while pursuing what you deserve, you align yourself with the energy of abundance. You do not stumble, you accelerate. Adaptability is survival, but mastery requires more than mere survival. Life will never unfold according to plan. Markets crash, relationships falter, circumstances betray expectation. The world is a storm, and those who bend with it endure. But those who shape the storm, who channel it into momentum, who innovate while others stagnate, these are the architects of destiny. Ford's assembly line was not born from convenience. It was born from the necessity to overcome limitation. Carnegie's empire was not built on certainty, it was built on navigating uncertainty with audacity. Before breakfast, cultivate adaptability, be fluid in strategy but rigid in purpose, flex with circumstance but never compromise on your core vision. Resilience is the unbroken thread that connects dreams to reality. Every great achievement, every empire, every revolution of thought has been forged through adversity. Rejection is inevitable. Failure is unavoidable. Pain is universal. Yet the difference between those who endure and those who surrender is the relentless refusal to yield. Before breakfast, fortify your mind against the seduction of surrender. Remind yourself that struggle is proof of engagement, that resistance is the weight that strengthens muscle, that every obstacle is a teacher disguised in adversity. The early hours are your crucible, your laboratory, your proving ground. Face them with courage, and no storm can shake you. Learning is not a passive act. It is the continuous process of sharpening the tools that craft your future. Edison read voraciously. Carnegie studied the masters. Ford observed relentlessly. Every morning, before the distractions, feed your mind, consume knowledge that transforms, not trivia that distracts. Challenge your assumptions, seek insights that illuminate paths unseen. Let the dawn be the time when your mind absorbs, reflects, and evolves. Before breakfast, invest in yourself, not for recognition, not for praise, but because the mastery of your craft, the refinement of your skill, is the currency of destiny. Time is the most ruthless of tyrants, and yet it is the most generous of allies if claimed with precision. Each morning is a battleground, every minute a decision, to surrender to lethargy or to command your moment. Napoleon Hill wrote of definitive purpose, of burning desire, of the power of decision. These are not platitudes. They are the instruments of triumph. Before breakfast, wield them. Decide the trajectory of your day. Decide the trajectory of your life. Burn with desire so fierce that hesitation is impossible. Visualize the victories you intend to claim. Speak them, breathe them, live them. Your destiny does not wait for permission. It waits for execution.